to elevate your business. Two housekeeping items before we start. We will ask everyone in the audience to stay on mute throughout the program, but we encourage you to submit questions to the chat mechanism. Also, I wanted you to know that this session will be recorded and will be available later today on the Chamber's Facebook page. We're very fortunate to have 3 business owners with us here today to talk about their business and how they've been successful using social media to move their business forward. With us today, we have Scott Holman, the owner of the Citrus Tower. We have Matt Wheatley, owner of Wheatley Realty Group. And we have Kyle and Jess Caracciolo. They are with Lionheart Flooring. So I'm going to ask each of them to just tell us a little bit about their business and what they have done to use social media to move their business forward. So we will start with you, Scott.
Awesome. Hey, everybody. It's nice, David. Thanks for asking me to do this. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I'm the operator of Citrus Tower. My father bought the tower probably like 25, 28 years ago, somewhere around there. And then about a year and a half ago, my wife and I approached them to my family to do a lease option with them because we had some interest in kind of redeveloping the area. And we made it work. So it's been fun. We've been at it for about a year and a quarter, year and a half. And yeah, our objective was to respect the history and then just bring in as many tenants that we could that would be a good fit for the community. So far it's been good. Social media has been key. And I think that's what everybody wants to talk about is social media. It's worked better than I had thought that it would. And we've been able to leverage quite a bit because of it. One of the things that the biggest benefit to our business is my wife. She runs everything. So honestly, she should probably be the one talking to you, but I'll do my best. There are 5 things that I think are really important with social media that at least, so my wife runs the social media and then I'm kind of the builder of content and I'm previewing content most of the content before it goes live. And the first thing that we try to do, and this is probably more, I think any business can do this, but one of the things that we try and works really well is everything we do, we try to make it creative and fun. Our clientele it's either touristy or it's local families, and creative and fun works for them. The other thing that I have really paid attention to this year is something that is just quality excellence. And the way I look at quality excellence for anything that gets pushed online is there's 2 parts of it, is production quality and content quality. So if my production quality is really high and my content quality is really high, I've noticed that it's just blown up. But I can't do that every time because I'm just not as smart. So sometimes the production quality is really high and then the content is just, it's just subpar, and I'll still let that stuff pass and go online. But I've noticed that if my production quality is low and my content quality is just average, is just a complete flop, even if it's cool. So like, I can't hear any of you, it's just me, but by show of hands, this is a perfect example. How many of you saw my recent stop motion video of board games attacking a pandemic? Anybody? One person. Yeah, that's okay too. So that's because production quality was subpar and the content was just subpar, but it's still really, really cool video. So like that's a perfect case study of, I just did okay. It was just something fun. And I was just like, all right, let's just try it. And it was a complete flop, probably one of the worst videos that we've ever thrown out there. So if the production quality and the content quality, if one of them is not way up there, then it's not worth posting. The other thing, something that I've tried to do, not just in social media, but in everything, if you follow the Citrus Tower, you'll see this, is I've started this year at trying to add as much value as possible to everything. So for social media, so much so that in my thinking is how much quality can I give someone and not go bankrupt, and still be a successful business. So for our memberships, my initial thought was 30 or $40 for a member, and it's just one person. And then we made it 110 or something like that. and we added one extra guest. Then I was just like, why not just give away tons of stuff? So then we made it 100, brought the price down and made it up to 5 guests a day. So it's just trying to figure out ways to add tons of value to people and then be able to talk about those things on social media really helps. And one of the things that we really like on social media is that and I think a lot of businesses miss it, is how much people want to be educated. Education is huge quality. And for us, it's history. So one of the things I noticed is Facebook started talking about a year ago, they started talking about, I think it's groups where you can like create, we started one called History of Claremont. And so start a group and I was just like, yeah, I wonder how that's going to work out. It's been awesome. And the coolest part is the education. If you can figure out a way to get your consumer to generate your education, which is exactly what's happening, then you don't have to do any work. So which has been great. So the History of Claremont, people are engaged. We love it. We throw content at it. Other people throw content at it. So that's been really fun. And then the last thing is money. I thought initially I would just shotgun approach and just throw money at Facebook and Instagram, and it didn't work. And the key to it was spotting the trends. And I noticed when Heather would do a post that was awesome, I would see the trend and it would just slowly go up throughout the week. And then I'd spot that trend and then push money into it through Instagram. And then it was just exponential. But then if you just throw out something that's, a subpar trend where it's not generating tons of interest, and you're like, oh my gosh, I want that to do better, I'm gonna throw money at it, then you might just burn your money because it's just gonna sputter. So whatever you do post, find the trends that are working, and then if you want to spend money at it and leverage it in that way, push money into the things that are working, and then it'll be an exponential value. So those are the things that we've used that's really worked well. The biggest thing is just education has been really fun for us, and giving as much content as possible that is high production quality and high content quality.
Great. So if anyone has any questions for Scott specifically, go ahead and put those in the group chat. A question that I do have for you, can you talk a little bit about the different campaigns that you guys have run? You did it for your annual passes. You did it for bringing the Christmas lights back to Citrus Tower. Can you talk a little bit about that and your process with that?
Sure. Yeah. I went to most of that. The idea came from going to IAAPA, which is over in Orlando. It happens once a year, and it's a big theme park convention. And I sat down with a big marketing person I can't remember honestly the company, and I was talking with her about our membership thing, and just through some of the challenges we were having, and she was like, you've got to do these memberships, and don't call them annual passes, call them memberships, and get people connected with your brand. And I didn't fully understand the impact of that, and memberships have been the best fit for us, not only for us but for the consumer as well, because we added tons of value to it and then connected people with us. So it feels like we sold somewhere around 400, 450, I'm not sure, memberships, probably more than that. So we now feel like we have 450 friends that want to be involved with us if we're providing good content. And one of the ways that helped kind of push that along was tying that membership drive. We're still going to sell memberships, but just for a limited time, we did a membership drive to bring back something huge quality and huge content, the Christmas light show. So people got involved because it was something that they wanted, and we wanted it too. So it was just finding those win-win relationships is great. And then partnering with people that are interested in partnering with us that, again, provide quality and value. A perfect example is Matt. We worked with him to partner with the membership drive some. He can talk a little bit more about that. And then another one that was huge was Kristen Jameson with Success Mortgage. And then the biggest one is Chick-fil-A. I went and talked with Chick-fil-A and was just like, hey, you guys, this would be great for our community. Are you interested? And it was interesting. I was talking with Rocky about it, and he was just like, okay, his thought was not like, what can I give you? It was, how can I provide, what's the word? How can I provide, I'm drawing a blank. Somebody jump in here.
Value.
Value. There you go. How can I add a ton of value to what you're doing? And that's what he did. He threw 20 Chick-fil-A sandwiches at everybody who bought a membership between this certain date and another date. And it was just tons of value. So people loved it.
Great. Okay, I have 2 questions here. So we'll go ahead and cover those. And then if anyone has any further questions for Scott, go ahead and put them in the comments as well, and we will address them after our other 2 speakers. So Chuck wants to know, you mentioned throwing money into it. Could you please define that?
Sure. So I used to spend money on Facebook ads, and I'll do it now and then, but I really don't do that anymore. I was talking with a pretty big marketing company over in Orlando just because he's a friend of mine, and he highly recommended me look stronger at Instagram. I'm not sure if that's because of my business or if that's just because he thinks that's kind of the future. So I started looking at Instagram ads, and when I saw a post that was doing really well or a video, then I would buy ad space on Instagram and push that post. One of the ones that we did was the drone video from the top when the tower was really cloudy. It was just a really cool picture of it. And so that went really well. And then, so my thinking there is I will push cash at something that's working well if it's going to generate more followers that want to be a part of what we're doing, just because we want more friends to, engage with us. And that post did really well. That's the perfect example. If you go back on our Instagram and look at that drone footage, there's tons of comments, and look at all of our other Instagram photos and video, and they don't have near that much. It's not only because the content and the quality was really good, but it was also because I saw that trend, I spotted it, and I started buying ad space with it.
And then to piggyback off of that, Larry wants to know, please share your thoughts and specific tips about how to best use Facebook versus Instagram versus Pinterest and other social media platforms.
That's a really great question for Heather, my wife. Yeah, it's a really good question. She runs the day-to-day on that stuff. I'm more watching and seeing how I can leverage it. I have found that Instagram is the people that we're getting in front of and engaging with Instagram. I don't know if this answers the question, but I found that it is more, those people are more engaged, and they want to be a fan. And I feel like Facebook is more of kind of like a spread, a wider spread. And it's the percentage of people who don't care about you is much higher there, which I don't mind using both. It's just more fun on Instagram when people want to engage, because we want to engage with them. I don't know if that answered the question though.
It did, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Scott. We are going to go ahead and have Matt give us his tips on what he does with his business. Matt?
Hey guys. Well, I know you can't say hey back, but that's okay. So I am Matt Wheatley. I'm the broker of the Wheatley Realty Group here. We just got voted best of South Lake for residential real estate by probably some of you guys. So whoop whoop. Thank you very much. And I actually attribute that in a big way to social media, and I'll kind of get through that because I've been using it for a while. But I feel like our reach, when you are when you're doing an advertising campaign, we didn't put an ad in the paper and say, hey, vote for us for the best residential real estate of South Lake. I mean, we can talk to people, but the best way to truly reach people is social media. And that's why we're all here. We want to learn about how we can reach people, give them our message. It's a great way for, I would say, people to get an inside look at your business as well. Big word I like to use is transparency. So if I'm out in the field and I'm at an inspection and I see something that is educational or something that maybe the general public doesn't understand, I'll share something like that. And I feel like that resonates with people. It makes you the expert in your field. There's a lot of different ways and branches that you can, like Scott said, some posts can flop pretty hard, and some posts you'll think that the content's not amazing, but it'll resonate with people and it'll be shared, and you just don't know what's going to work the best. So the best thing to do, really, be yourself, push your education, get educated yourself first. You've got to have that base, and then push that. But I'm a big fan of using social media. We started this business, even though we changed the name of it, we started this business in 2013 My mom's been a broker since '99. I recently took over that role. So in 2013, when we set this business up, we did, in 2014, I think I started using social media because I saw the potential there. And it was Facebook. And over the last few years, it has switched to not just Facebook. I feel like I feel like all social media is generational. So you'll see switches to Instagram. That was 2 or 3 years ago. It started to get really popular. And then Kyle's going to talk more about TikTok that's become popular this year. But if you've noticed the trends, there's a lot less words and a lot more pictures and video. Video is a huge thing for me. I think it's one of the things that it gets a better reach. If you look at your Facebook algorithms, video gets a way better reach than a photo versus text. So that's the progression that I've seen. And I want to share with you just a couple stories. I don't have a whole bunch of bullet points like Scott has. I'm much better at Q&A, so you guys can send me your questions and I'll answer them the best I can. But I have 2 stories for you to kind of give you the impact of how social media helps without even maybe knowing about it. It's something that I can't track. But I had a consultation with a first-time home buyer last year. They reached out to me. They sent me a Facebook message through my business page. Hey, we want to look into getting a home. How do we get started? And of course, that's, I need to know all those questions. So in whatever business you run, the common questions that you get, you need to have answers for. That's number one, because you can't get any further than that. But they came into my office and I started, asking questions, exploring, what they knew about the process. And they said that they've been following my business page for 4 years without contacting me directly at all. They've been watching just my content for 4 years. That's all they've been doing. And when they were ready, I was the person that they thought of because of that content that I'd been continuously putting out. So what I like to say with, there's a whole different avenue of paid advertising, but your organic reach, your organic content, the stuff that's free that you can just do, you can be at work and show people what you're doing. Just remind them that this is what you do. You don't have to ask for business. Obviously, you can mix that in. And that's a whole different topic between your personal page and your Facebook business page. If you guys have questions on what to do with that, you can ask me that stuff and I'll give you my opinion on it. But there's no wrong answer. I've done a lot of Facebook, I guess you could say, training with the lead system that we have now. And they refer to Facebook as what's called digital door knocking. So you can basically pay to get in front of people and door knock, and people that answer the door you can talk to. But going back to the organic stuff and this couple, it really kind of blew me away. And I had to think, what did I posted over the last 4 years that have made them think of me? And obviously it changed a lot. So that was one of the stories. And the other one is a success story from Instagram, which is actually my first one that I can actually record and say that I actually got a client from Instagram. Now, whether somebody contacted me and had followed me on there or not, I don't know. But this one was, I know it's from there. It's a guy that I met at the club at Bella Colina, and he was sitting there across from me in the restaurant, and we started talking. Found out that he was a professional dirt bike rider. Thought that was really cool, so I followed him on Instagram, and he followed me back. And a couple of weeks ago, he messaged me and said, "Hey, man, is it a good time to sell my house? I need to get it sold." So I never asked him once for business. It's just my content. That's just the organic content that you put out that made him think about me when he was ready to do that. Someone's knocking on my door right now. I locked it. But they'll be fine. The neighbors are open. I'm at work, by the way, so not the neighbors, not that kind of neighbor. So yes, that's my success story for both of those. One of the things I think is key for anything that you're doing with your social media, again, there's obviously some wrong answers, but there's no real wrong answer to show who you are. So nobody really likes to look at themselves on camera or hear themselves talk. Being perfect and recording things 15 times just doesn't work because you're never going to put the content out there. You might have to pause me for a second because they keep banging on my door. Is that okay? I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Okay, while Matt's answering the door, if anyone has any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section. and we will go ahead and get those answered when he comes back. And if you have any questions, again, for Scott that we can address at the end, go ahead and put those in the comment section as well. If it is specifically for one person, please put their name on there so that way we can address it to them.
Sorry, guys.
Go ahead.
It was UPS. Okay. I think I'm pretty much finished up, but being transparent with your business, showing people what you do on a day-to-day basis, I feel like that's like a hidden something that people maybe in your business, you don't think you should do that because it's your day-to-day, but for other people, they don't know that stuff. So with real estate, when we're at an inspection or an appraisal or a closing, we have a success story, you'll very rarely see me anymore advertise on my personal page about asking for, like, now's a good time to sell your home. I do that, some of that on my business page. And most of the time it's just being active and then educating. One of the main things that we did, we've focused on this year, was trying to do 3 main events a year for either our past clients, our circle of influence. And again, we reach all those people through social media. One of the big ones we did was we partnered with the Citrus Tower. When they said they were bringing the light show back, that's something that really resonates with me personally. My daughter loved it when it was there, so I said, you know, how many other people in the community are going to feel the same way I do if we're helping to bring something like that back and bring a reach and exposure. You know, we've built our base over time. Scott's obviously built a great base for the tower. And the other partnership we had was with Kristen Jameson and her team. So we all kind of came together and said, let's do some video content. And Scott can tell you, we did not have a script. I just don't like doing scripts. I don't feel like it's authentic. We just sat there and kind of talked about why we wanted to come back and what our goal is. And it had a really good reach with the community. I think the main video for the giveaway was like 20,000 views locally, and we didn't really put any money towards that. We could have put some more money towards that, but it was mainly from the community. If it resonates with the community, they'll share it. And that was a big thing, was bringing the light show back. It's something that, you know, the community really, I feel like a lot of people felt the same way as me, especially with young kids that would love to go see the snow and the lights and the Christmassy stuff without having to drive, you know, 1,000,000 miles away to see that sort of stuff. So that was one of the big things we did this year. And we do plan on hopefully being able to do an event with the Citrus Tower come November time when the lights are on.
We have a couple questions for you before we move on to Kyle. Do you boost posts or publish ads?
With a video, a lot of times I will boost it. Video is very different. When you upload a video, sharing a link on Facebook versus uploading a video is a big difference. If you share a YouTube link, I've been trying to work out a way to get the same kind of reach as I do on Facebook. But uploading a video is way better than sharing a link to a video, because Facebook wants you to stay on Facebook. So anything you're taking away from Facebook, they're not going to want to push in front of people as much as anything you keep it on Facebook. So it depends. We have an advertising, I guess you can say, funnel, where it puts out ads for us, and those are paid. So those are just paid to be put in front of people. And they do click a link and go off of Facebook. But one of my main tips for if you are paying for Facebook ads, don't go the cheap way. If you go a couple of dollars a day, it's not really going to reach many people. And that's fine if you're concentrating on a small group of people, because we have a retargeting ad that is a couple of dollars a day that retargets the people that have already interacted with our ad, and that's fine. But the main thing with ads is you got to start around $7 to $9 a day minimum for a Facebook ad. So you've got to commit to it for you got to have 2 or 3 days for Facebook to figure it out with their algorithms and your Facebook pixel. But you know, you've got to at least run something for a month, even figure out if it's going to get enough data to figure out if it's going to work or how many leads you're getting and if those leads are good quality before you adjust it. So I would say don't just boost a generic post if you don't have an intention behind it. But I have boosted videos because I want it to reach more people. Sure. There's two different applications. Boosting something organic, like a video of yourself, would be a good way to go. An ad would be an ad. So like what's your home worth? That's something that you wouldn't boost. That's something you would create ad for because you don't want them to just see it. You want them to go somewhere.
I'm going to lump these next two questions in because they kind of go hand in hand. Are you posting identical content across all platforms you use, or are you crafting platform-specific content? And how and where do you get inspiration for new and original content?
Yeah, that's a good question. Through Facebook and Instagram, since they're linked, most of the time it's similar. That way it kind of reduces your time. I will tell you, it's been a learning curve over years for what content works, what content doesn't work, what you get inspiration from. I mean, I can tell you that I've posted probably, I don't know how many like sold posts I've posted, but if you go back, you can go back through my entire Facebook and see it all. And it's progressed, and now it's kind of gotten to the point where they don't differ too much. So kind of the same. I might hashtag things differently on Instagram because it has a different reach. But like Scott, I will say that Instagram is definitely more up and coming, and you can reach people that you probably couldn't reach on Facebook just with hashtags and locations. Facebook kind of, when Instagram did that, Facebook came back and said, okay, now we're allowing hashtags and now we're allowing locations, and they've kind of integrated together. But at first they weren't doing that. So over all platforms, pretty much the same. I do have a Twitter, but it's automated, so it's probably, that looks way different. It looks almost generic compared to personal, and I think that's the main thing, is make it personal to you and then create a pattern with that people see a consistency with you, whether it's you're educating them or you're giving back to the community, or whatever you're doing.
Okay, and
Does
then
that answer the question? Those are like 3 questions there.
yeah, did you I don't think you touched on where you get inspiration for new and original content.
For original content, I mean, with realtors it's kind of hard because we all are doing similar stuff, but anything that pops up in your daily work, like I said, some people post about inspections, some people don't. Some people post about first-time home buyers, which is a lot of what we did at the start. So just, I honestly don't know where to tell you where my inspiration comes from. Just seeing something different, I guess. Maybe setting yourself apart, figuring out what people aren't doing, trying that, and if it works, I can give you a success story about that. I posted a sold, I think it would probably be like 3 or 4 years ago now. And on my way from closing, after posting, I got a phone call saying, hey, I want that deal where you can move into a house with $1,000 down and, this type of loan and blah, blah, blah. So trial and error, I would say, is a big part of our business and posting.
Okay, and then your last question is define the ages for generational for different platforms.
So Facebook has become, it obviously started out for college kids. Then it got just absolutely exploded from all generations. And now we have, I would say Facebook is more millennial based, and it's business based now too. And I feel like the younger generations are switched over to Instagram a while ago. And now even more, they're switching over to TikTok. So I don't know if that's going to last. I don't know. I mean, Snapchat was around for a little while, and now it's kind of, it's there. So I don't know if that's going to last, because that's kind of more of a fun thing than it is anything else. But they can adapt and change. So I couldn't tell you where TikTok's going to go, but Facebook and Instagram, I don't think are going anywhere. So that's where I would focus. A lot of people have said to start shifting from Facebook to Instagram because that's where the next generation is coming. And I can tell you that, what is the generation under us? Gen Z?
Gen
Is that right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, well, whatever's underneath a millennial, that was the one lead that I got from Instagram was a Gen Z. So I think that's more up and coming. And again, they're younger, so it depends what your target audience is. So if you're looking at senior 65 plus, it's probably not going to be TikTok or Instagram. It's probably going to be Facebook or whatever they're used to. Probably email. It all depends on your target audience. And still, there's a lot of people that I know that have gotten off of Facebook because they think it's unhealthy for whatever they wanted to do, or could have been a bad relationship or something. They just don't want to see it all the time. But that's exactly what we use to make our content relevant. You see it all the time. I can't tell you how many times I go places and they say, "Oh, your video yesterday was great." Okay, that's awesome. I'm glad you saw it. But I've gotten that quite often, so I feel like it's a great way to reach people.
Well, thank you, Matt. If anyone has any more questions for Matt, go ahead and put it in the chat, and then make sure it says Matt so that we know to ask him specifically. And next up, yeah, we have Kyle and Jess from Lionheart Floors, and they're going to talk to us about TikTok. Kyle and Jess.
Hey guys, how is everyone? So yeah, so we're kind of more on the TikTok side of things. I know Matt and Scott are very Instagram and Facebook related, and we are as well. I mean, we use Facebook and Instagram constantly. I was saying before we started this how Matt and I almost seem to be jockeying for live positions all the time. I find myself going live at the same time as him. But what I've learned over the process of this is that Facebook, I mean, we're on Instagram is owned by Facebook now. So what you do on one and on the other, they basically, if you pay one, you're still paying the other. It's kind of a weird thing like that. TikTok is something that we've started on because we noticed that it's based on an algorithm that keeps you in state. And so, like, I did a video that was just kind of a comedic video, kind of funny, threw a little bit of music on it. Video's 14 seconds long, and 1 million people saw it. And those 1 million people are located in Florida. So I hashtag the company, I hashtag a bunch of other information, and it brings those people kind of to us. So we don't see it so much as like Facebook, where you get more instant response, where people come back to you, they see your ad, they click it, you get comments and respond. It's more like a billboard or that you see on the side of the road is what we kind of use TikTok for. It's just the notoriety thing, if you will. And it drives others to our Facebook and our Instagram pages, where we then get that instant notoriety from, or instant gratification from it, if you will. So on the way we make our content is kind of interesting. So we're a team in the sense that I'm out in the field a lot. I'm always out and about, and I'm the one that sees the stuff that's like, whoa, that's pretty cool. And I'll record it and I'll ship it off to my beautiful wife here, who will transform it into the most amazing content you see on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever. And she'll edit it together, and next thing you know, my phone is exploding while I'm driving down the road.
So what I do is, my principle for creating content, I know that was one of the questions. My inspiration, the principle I follow is storytelling. So as human beings, that's innately what we're drawn to, is storytelling. It's in our music, it's in our movies, it surrounds us, and people love to engage with a good story. They like to, feel like they're a part of that. So when I'm creating content for the company, I'm always telling a story. And it doesn't have to be a grandiose, oh my God, listen to this drama. It could be something as small as, this is the current job we're working on. This is a little history about our customer. This is, kind of what's going on. And here's demo, here's install, and here's the finished product. And people resonate with that. Sometimes, a little bit more than others. But overall, tell a story about your business. That's your business. That's your baby. No one is going to know that more than you. So, whether it's the story of how you started, a day-to-day live update as you're driving down the road to your next appointment, you really get that connection with your audience by telling your story and creating content around that. I know that we really let people into our lives last year a great deal more than we normally would. through what we had going on with Kendrick. And, you know, that really surprised me at the response we received from that, letting people into that little piece of your life, getting a little bit more personal with your audience and saying, here, we're being really vulnerable and raw, and we're sharing this piece of ourselves with you. You know, we were just doing it to kind of let people know, hey, you know, this is what we've got going on in our lives right now, but we're still here to serve you. We're still available for appointments and whatnot. And go ahead.
And like, so one of the things that we kind of, to carry on with that, like with storytelling, highly recommend go live. Matt would agree with me. If you record that video and then review the video, you will find something you hate about it and delete it every time. When I started doing this, she pushed me. I didn't want to. I would sit in the car and record a video and be like, I sound like an idiot. And I would record again. I'm like, oh man, I look stupid. I recorded again. Oh, that angle makes me look dumb. And I would do that 40 times. By the time I was done, my phone would have like no storage left because I recorded 20 videos. But when I went live, you don't get a chance to go, oh, I look stupid there.
Yeah.
It's live and
Yeah.
it is what it is. And what happens then is, I know in the beginning, I sounded like a bumbling idiot when I first did it. And then as I got better, I stopped saying, I stopped saying, and I kind of just started acting like I was having a conversation with the camera, which would be you, the audience. And it got easier that way. And I realized that for me, going live is by far the way to go. I can't do it on a recording. I feel stupid.
The key that I found, the formula for success that I found is, if you're new to the social media thing, you have to just do it. You are your biggest critic.
Mm-hmm.
And you are always going to find something wrong with what you're putting out, with what you're, you know, oh, this picture is not, it's kind of grainy there. That doesn't really look, just put it out. It's going to be, you know, mediocre in the beginning, but you'll see when you look back, you're like, oh my God, look at how we've evolved. Look at the response it's gotten. Look at the audience that we've built around this, but just put it out there. You're going to, my two pieces of advice would be, put it out there and be consistent. If you're not consistent and you don't constantly engage your audience, build that relationship, then you're not going to see the reward from it.
And make sure you respond to content. So that video that's on TikTok that has almost 1 million views, I have like 70+ comments on there where people are like, oh, what's that machine? Hey, what are you doing there? And I answer all those questions. And the reason I answer those questions is because it keeps them engaged, right? So that video has like 5,000 likes and 60, 70 comments, which doesn't seem like a lot, but what happens is I answered every comment and I commented to each and every person. So they realize, oh, this is a real person. I can talk to them. And what happens is they translate. So when we had that video go big, we saw a bump in our Instagram. We saw a bump in our Facebook. And what we did was we cross-platformed it. So we took it off of TikTok and we moved it over to Instagram and allowed it to do well there. And it didn't do as well on Instagram, but it did good on Facebook. And so what we found is, if you have content, you don't have to put the same content on each platform, but definitely understand that certain content works for certain platforms. Like, we are literally on, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, TikTok, Byte, Twitter, and pretty much anything else that you can text or message someone on that has a video feature. I mean, Byte is a 7-second video. That's all you get.
Yeah, if you guys, I don't know how familiar you guys are with Vine, but Byte is kind of a rebirth of Vine. It's a 7-second video. You get on there, you throw up some kooky, funky content, but that's enough to create the attention around your business, to stop someone and say, oh, this person's really funny. And you keep your name circulating in their minds, like Matt and Scott were talking about. You have that person see your content, you're creating it, and then they're like, oh, I need flooring. Oh, there's that flooring guy on Byte or Instagram or Facebook. And you may not be in their state. You may be in another state completely, but what they're going to do is they're going to take that information that you're sharing, like Matt said, the education that you're providing, the value that you're bringing to the table, and they're going to remember your name. And who knows, they may have family or friends in Florida, and they're like, hey, I watched this guy on TikTok, on Instagram. He's hilarious. I know you need new floors. Go check him out.
And that's actually one of like an Instagram success story for that. We have an Instagram customer that just has been corresponding, if you will, by commenting in their pictures, and they comment in our pictures for what, a year?
Yeah, a little bit
Like
more.
almost a year. The funniest part is like when I finally drove up, they're like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And they swore they knew me because they've been following me on Instagram for a year. And they're like, "How's Kendrick?" I never met them before, but they knew about Kendrick, and it was one of those things that was like, you really understand the power of it. And then when I knew that TikTok was powerful was the day that I was standing in the produce aisle in Publix, and the lady goes, "You're the flooring guy, aren't you?" And I thought to myself, I have no idea who this woman is, but she knows exactly who I am. And she's like, "Yeah, Lionheart, you guys got the thing." And I was like, wow, okay, so that algorithm really keeps it close to home, because my Publix is a mile away from me, and she knew who I was, who the company was. She knew what the video was we were doing, and she follows our content. She's like, "Yeah, I have you guys on everything. You guys are hilarious." But that's how we realized, like, okay, I may not sell her flowers today, but she may tell her cousin, her uncle, or her whoever. And that's how, so the benefit to social media isn't the instant gratification. And that was what I had to learn in the very beginning. We create content so that people tell everybody about us. And eventually it gets to the one person that wants flowers. Not so much the people that are actually watching the video, because sometimes they watch the video like, wow, that's crazy. But those people aren't actually interested in flooring, but their cousin is, or
But
their
the
uncle
name
is.
sticks.
Right.
The name sticks because you're creating content that resonates with them. Your name will be in the back of their mind. So whenever that word comes up that's associated with your business, whether it's realty, whether it's, tourism, flooring, they immediately go to, "Oh, that guy, he's on social media. He's really great. They're family based, they're locally owned. You need to go with them, check them out." And the rest speaks for itself.
Could you guys explain the basics and some tips for TikTok?
Yes. So first thing you need to do is when you download TikTok, there's a section called the For You page. For You page is going to be based off of things that you're interested in, that you've already you go through and start selecting things and liking photos, and the algorithm will then take a liking, it'll look at things that you like and give you things that you like, and it'll keep feeding you things that you're interested in. When you go through the For You page, you're going to look at the trends. For instance, I have a friend on TikTok who happens to be in this chat with us right now, and she's hilarious. And she hits all of the trendy dance moves and all of the trendy videos that are out there. And what it is that she's watched obviously the For You page, and she's seen, okay, well, this is the new song that's on the top 10 list that everybody's lip syncing and doing dances to or making fun of. I know everybody's seen Tiger King, right? So that Tiger King has its own like silly song where people remixed a song with Carol Baskin's name in it. It sounds crazy, but that actual song is trending. When you look at the hashtag for it, it's like 2.1 million people are watching and looking at that hashtag at like 12 o'clock noon. And the benefit to TikTok is that if you look at that hashtag again at like say 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, it'll show you how many people are looking at that hashtag at that time. And at 2.1 million people at 12 o'clock won't be the same. At 5 o'clock, it'll probably be like, I don't know, 700 or 800 million people because they're off work and they're looking at TikTok and so on and so forth. So what it does is it allows you to learn that feature a lot better. But if you use the For You page to see when you see a video and you see the same song and the same video 5 times in a row, that's the video you want to be taking and making content with, because obviously it is trending. And so that's kind of what I do with it. I don't necessarily stick in that because our content is a little different. You were saying?
With TikTok, the audience there you're gonna find is a lot younger. You have some millennials mixed into the audience, but the majority is younger children or people in their teens or even early 20s. So you really want to create content that's going to cater to that demographic. Lots of fun, upbeat content.
Music, lots of music.
Lots of music. Have fun with it. I mean, you're representing your business. You're doing this to keep your name in people's minds, but definitely remember that with TikTok, you have to have an element of fun, and that's going to show through into your content, and that's going to draw people to you.
Yeah, and the last thing you want to do on TikTok is do a video where you're like, "Hi, I'm so-and-so, and I'm selling you so-and-so, and so-and-so is selling you so-and-so because I'm so-and-so. And what will happen is, because on TikTok, all you literally have to do is swipe your hand forward and you're gone. So our videos are like 14 seconds, 10 seconds, 13 seconds. We don't go to the 1 minute long video time frames because the attention span's not there for a business. If I were doing like dance move content and lip sync, people will stay there for it. Or some original content where like there's people on there that do artwork and they speed it up, and
Or
you'll see someone,
skits.
yeah, or skits. Those people will get the 60-second content to go. But businesses, 15 seconds. You want to be 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Get in there, say something very silly about your content, about your business that sticks there, that name in there. I mean, everybody knows the song "We Are Farmers," and the reason you know it is because it's hilarious. Their commercials are how hilarious their commercials are. But that little jingle sticks in your head. That commercials.
That's how TikTok operates. That
Yes.
right there in a sentence is how TikTok operates. You go on TikTok, you spend an hour on TikTok,
Yeah.
and you walk around your house literally singing the songs that you've heard. You can't get them out of your head, and that's how you resonate. People remember your content. They remember those little songs associated with it, and that's where you get them.
And again, it has to be fast. It's got to be an in and out job with TikTok. It's not like Facebook where you can go live and you can be like, this is this, and you don't have the time for it because it is so quick. I would say also with like Facebook and Instagram, the benefit to TikTok is that it has a fantastic editing software built into the actual program where you don't even have to do half the editing. I mean, it syncs your lip syncing with the audio for you. If you're doing dance moves, it will, or if you're doing transitions where you want to move from room to room and you put a transition in the middle, it syncs the music to where the bass drops at the moment of the transition, and you don't have to do that. It does it for you. And those things are super great if you want to take a video that you edited with audio and has music to it and throw it on your Instagram and pay for it to be boosted. Well, instead of sitting there for an hour editing a video to make it work, go on TikTok, throw it in there, and it will make the editing so much faster that you can put content out quicker. And the other thing with TikTok is you got to do something at least minimum once a week. I would say 3 times a week personally. That's what we try to do, but once a week is a minimum.
Great. I'm going to bring back all the speakers. So if you guys have any questions for Kyle, Matt, Jess, or Scott, go ahead and put them in the chat. One question I have for all 3 of you, because all 4 of you, all of you guys have worked together at some point, whether it was with the Great Floridian Central Race or Great Central Florida Race, or just in general, you guys have all worked together. Can you talk a little bit about partnerships and collaborating with different businesses in the area?
Who do you want to go first? Would you like us to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay, so
I'm gonna go get the baby.
one of the Jess is gonna run and grab the babies. One of the things that we do for our content, actually, if you pay any attention to our content that's not on Facebook and Instagram, you'll notice that, like, I have a friend who owns a gun store. I go to his store and I'll do content there. I have a friend that owns a patio furniture store. Actually, he's in the chamber. I'll go there and I will go to their store and chit chat with them and make content in their store, not in my own. And I'll get better views there than if I were to walk around my own showroom and show people flooring. And what it is it's engaging because I'm bringing new product that has nothing to really do with my store, but it's engaging in the sense that they see me in a different atmosphere, so it's new. And so it gives me another chance. So working with other businesses is great because it helps you, it helps them. You hashtag their business, you hashtag your business. Both websites take a bump, and it's beneficial along the way.
Matt or Scott, do you have anything to add?
I would say that the chamber's a great way to meet people like this and to do exactly what Kyle just said on whatever platform you want to push it on. I know I met Kyle at a business after hours at his place. I didn't even know it existed before then. So not all of your stuff has to be social media based. You definitely need the in-person networking too, because you may not meet those people. But I do think that the chamber does a great job of bringing us all together. So thank you.
Scott, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, the only thing that I think to me is really important is when we push ourselves out to the community integrity and honesty and just truthfulness in general is just of utmost importance. So when I look to partner with somebody, I like to make sure that I have a good relationship with them and I can trust their integrity. Because, you know, a really good example is we brought, well, Matt is an awesome example because I trust him. We've done work together before. But another really good one is Snowmows. We did.
And they're awesome, by the way.
They
awesome.
are. We did a partnership with them, and just getting to know people to make sure that when they're on site or when they're pushing content, like if they're going to lie to somebody, then we won't work with them. So, you know, talking with him with Snowmows, he's an awesome guy. So it's really nice when you already know the person, you know, they're not going to try to manipulate your followers and leverage your company for something negative, you know. So it's nice, and I think it's really important for brand awareness and just general integrity.
Can I add one thing?
Go ahead.
So the other benefit too to partnering with other businesses is, for instance, I like to call it like cross-platforming. So for instance, like I said, my friend has a gun store. Those people are nowhere near in the same line of flooring, if you will, viewers. But the benefit to them is that they may not ever have found me if I didn't meet them through his page. And by linking my page and his page together, I get his viewers plus my viewers. So if I've got 1,000 and he's got 1,000, I'm reaching 2,000 people by just merging and doing that. And you can almost grow your follower. Like in the last week, we just recently had 200 plus ads to our Facebook page, which we don't really push our Facebook that hard. But I just recently did a little content where I shared with another page, and it kind of had their people on their page go, oh, what's this? And then they started liking our page from his page. So it's kind of a way of not stealing viewers, but kind of growing your viewership that way. Partner up. And some of my viewers, I'm sure, went over to his.
And then if you guys have any final thoughts that you'd like to add, anything else you guys wanted to touch on?
I'll definitely add that one of the things Scott just touched on with integrity and honesty and things like that, you can put whatever message you want out there, but these people that you're working with, the people that you actually do business with, that you finally get to come in from that reach, if that service isn't excellent and you don't get the reviews from them and the word of mouth from them, that's your base. I mean, you can put that message out that you're the best in town, best in town, best in town, but if you don't treat those people that you're actually interacting with as the utmost important and with the integrity, and tell them, you know, if you put education out saying that you can buy $1 million house with no money down and anyone can do it, that's not something that's going to give you good results because you can't do it. I mean, maybe if you're a veteran, but that's not everybody. So obviously backing up everything that you push, as far as your, you know, the reaching people is important. Everyone's here to try and reach new people and new business, but always focus on your current clients. That's your most important. And getting your reviews, your authentic reviews from those people, building up, you know, your Google, your Facebook, all those platforms, so that when people are searching you and you're reaching these people, I call it the snowball effect. I've been using this Facebook for, like I said, since 2014, and it has grown every year. Some years faster than others, and that's from trial and error, but it's always growing. And now when if I ask if someone's researched me, I know they've seen all the reviews we have, all the comments, all of the content, and it's a lot easier now than it was at the start. So you've got to build that platform up, and it only takes one person that you don't treat the right way to bring it way back down to ground zero again. That's obviously an extreme example, but that's one of my main things, is make sure you have that, treat that person right, make sure you get that foundation of your business done. Because if you reach way too many people and you can't handle it all, and having the systems in place to handle it all, it doesn't really help much.
Scott or Kyle, do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, last thing.
Go ahead, Scott.
Last thing I was going to say is just kind of repeat on education. Education is really important, and people want to be educated. So like, even like for the Citrus Tower, we educate on history, but I see like there's a bookkeeping service in here. So like for me, like I would love to learn more about, you know, different types of accounting and things like that. So like, or if there's a home inspector in here, like people are interested in what termites do and like how fast they work and the two different types, even if it's not like something generally everybody would think is fun, like still people want to be educated. This is, you know, everybody can learn about everything with the internet. So we might as well give them the best education that we can.
For sure.
Kyle?
So what I was going to say is on my final touches, give information for free. Don't make them work for it. Don't make it something where they're like, yeah, if you want to find out how to do this, call me. Just give them the information. If someone gives you a free beer koozie at whatever event you're at, you're more inclined to call them, right? It's the same concept on social media. They're more inclined to contact you if you're giving them the information. I don't know if anyone knows who Gary Vaynerchuk is, but that's something he preaches. That dude literally is a social media guru. He's got millions upon millions of followers on any and every platform. And the one thing he preaches is don't make your viewer have to work to get some information from you. It should all be free. And at that point, they'll go, you know, I'd rather work with this guy because he's already trying to help me versus the guy that's like, if you want to know how to get so-and-so for so-and-so, call me. Because you're forcing them, you're kind of cornholing them into you, and it doesn't make them happy. Give them the information. They will call you to have you do that anyway. I tell people all the time how to install floors on our social media platform. I show them how to do it themselves. But will they be able to do it as good as me? No, and that's why they call us. So giving them that free content makes them go, yeah, I could probably try to do it myself. And yeah, he's showing me how, but it also looks really hard. And they're more inclined to come and get me to do it versus to do it themselves. So make it easy and free right away. Okay.
Thank you guys for everything. We will be posting this later today on our YouTube channel. We'll post it on Facebook so that way you guys can view it again if you missed anything. I know we had some latecomers.
And share it.
And yes, and please share it. Thank you, Matt. And then if you guys have any other questions afterward, go ahead and send it to us at the chamber and we will get it out to everyone so we can get those questions answered for you. Dave, do you have anything that you would like to add?
I just want to thank our panel. It was a really great presentation. We appreciate all of you for being on the panel, and I want to thank everyone for joining us. We have at least 3 different chamber webinars every week, and we encourage you to come on. We decide what to program based upon what people are looking for, so if you have something you want to learn about, or if you would like to be on a panel, please let us know. So thank you, everyone, and have a great day.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.